Hi everyone. Let's talk about Princess Diana, the woman the world called the Queen of Hearts. But today we're not talking about her fame. We're talking about the love she had to hide, a love the world never fully saw. And yes, this story will also help you improve your English naturally. So listen carefully and feel the story. After her royal wedding, everyone thought Diana had a perfect life. A palace, a prince, a crown. But what she didn't have was love. Behind the royal smile, her heart was quietly breaking. The world saw her beauty, but not her loneliness. She often said she felt trapped inside a golden cage. Years passed like that, empty, silent, and cold, until one ordinary day changed everything. It was 1995. Diana visited a hospital in London, not as a princess but as a volunteer. She was walking through the corridors, talking kindly to patients, when she met someone unexpected. Dr. Hasnat Khan, a heart surgeon from Pakistan. He wasn't royal. He wasn't rich. He was quiet, serious, and full of kindness. And that's what caught her attention. For the first time, Diana felt seen, not as a princess, not as a symbol, but as a woman. That single meeting planted a small, beautiful seed in her heart. And soon it began to grow. At first, they met just as friends. They would talk about work, about life, about small things. But slowly, something deeper began to happen. Diana started calling him late at night, not for help, but just to talk. She once said to her friend, "He makes me feel like a normal person." Those words meant everything. Because in the world she lived in, full of cameras, lies, and expectations, normal was something she hadn't felt in years. When Hasnat looked at her, he didn't see fame. He saw warmth. He saw truth. And she saw peace. That peace turned into love, quiet, secret, and real. But love is never easy, especially when the world around you never sleeps. Love in the shadows. Their love story was not written in gold. It was written in whispers, in quiet phone calls, and secret visits. Diana and Hasnat started meeting secretly, away from cameras, away from the eyes of the world. Sometimes she wore a simple jacket and scarf, driving herself at night just to see him. She didn't care about the rules of the palace anymore. She only cared about love. In Hasnat's small apartment, Diana found something she never had in the palace: peace. There were no servants, no reporters, no pressure. Just 2 cups of tea, quiet music, and the sound of their hearts. Hasnat was surprised by her simplicity. He once said, "She's not what people think. She's just human." And that was true. She could laugh freely with him, eat fast food, or wash the dishes without anyone judging her. For Diana, these little moments were magical. She finally felt free, even if it was only for a few hours. But love built on secrets is never easy. They had to hide every emotion, every smile, every meeting. Even Diana's closest friends didn't know at first. She told one friend softly, "I have found the love of my life." But she also added, "I can never have him completely." Those words said everything. Because Hasnat was a private man. He didn't want fame or attention. He didn't want to live under royal lights. And that made things complicated. The media had started following Diana everywhere after her divorce. Every time she went out, cameras waited like hunters. So their love had to stay hidden, behind closed doors, behind phone calls, behind walls of fear and care. Still, their connection grew stronger. They watched movies together, shared deep talks, and sometimes Diana cooked for him. She even met his family secretly during a visit to Pakistan. She wanted them to know this wasn't just romance. This was love. Hasnat's family liked her. They saw how real she was. Not the world's princess, but a woman in love. But deep down, Hasnat was afraid. He knew this love could destroy their peace. And Diana knew it too. Yet, neither could walk away. Their hearts had already made a promise. To love, even when the world said no. When love meets the world. Love is beautiful when it's private. But when the world finds it, it changes everything. For 2 years, Princess Diana and Dr. Hasnat Khan lived in a quiet world of their own, full of stolen moments, secret laughter, and hope. But slowly, the outside world began to knock on their door. The British media started whispering, "Who is the mysterious man Diana visits at night?" Paparazzi began to follow her car, hiding behind trees and walls. Every picture, every rumor made their secret love harder to keep. Diana's heart was divided. She wanted to be with Hasnat, to live a normal life with him. But she also knew her life could never truly be normal. She was the most famous woman on earth. One evening, she asked him softly, "Can you live with this pressure? With cameras everywhere?" Hasnat looked down and said, "I don't know. I'm not strong like you." That silence said more than words. He loved her deeply, but he was afraid of the storm that came with her name. Diana tried to make things work. She thought of moving to Pakistan, living a simple life near his family. She even talked to Hasnat's relatives, asking for their blessing. But royal blood and public fame don't mix easily with a quiet life. His family respected her, but they also knew the truth. Diana's life could never stay hidden. Wherever she went, the world would follow. The love that once made her feel free now began to hurt. She couldn't see him often. Calls became fewer. Meetings became shorter. Hasnat grew distant, lost between love and fear. Diana felt it slipping away, the only love she ever truly had. She wrote in her diary that she was heartbroken but understanding. She knew Hasnat wasn't leaving because he stopped loving her. He was leaving because the world wouldn't let him stay. One night she told a friend, "I will always love him, but I can't make him live my life." And with that she made a painful choice to let him go. Sometimes love doesn't end because people stop loving each other. It ends because life makes it impossible to continue. The love that never left. After Hasnat left her life, the palace halls felt colder than ever. But this time Diana didn't hide her pain. She faced it quietly but bravely. She once said to a friend, "He was the only man who ever loved me for me." Those words carried truth and sadness. She had loved deeply, but life had taken that love away. To the world, Diana smiled again. She continued her charity work, helping children, visiting hospitals, spreading kindness wherever she went. People thought she had moved on. But deep inside, she was still broken, still missing the man who made her feel alive. At night, she sometimes called his number but never pressed dial. She just stared at it, remembering. Months later, the media began linking her to another man, Dodi Al-Fayed, the son of a rich businessman. They went on vacations, smiled for cameras, and everyone thought Diana had fallen in love again. But the truth was different. Those close to her said she was trying to forget Hasnat. But forgetting true love is not easy. In her heart, she was still with him, still hoping he might call one day and say, "Come back." Hasnat, too, was not the same. He told a friend years later that Diana was the one woman I could never forget. But both of them lived in different worlds now. Two hearts that once touched, now separated by destiny. Even with all her fame and attention, Diana's eyes still carried that softness. the mark of someone who had loved truly, once and forever. Her friends said she wanted peace, a quiet life, maybe even marriage again, but only if it was real. She told one close friend, "If it's not Hasnat, I don't think I'll ever find that feeling again." Her story was never about losing love. It was about loving deeply, even when the world made it impossible. In those final months, Diana became stronger, wiser, and more independent than ever before. She had turned her pain into purpose. But inside, that secret love, the love that began in silence, still lived quietly in her heart. A tragic farewell. As the summer of 1997 arrived, Diana's life seemed to be entering a new chapter. One that promised freedom, peace, and perhaps even love. She was no longer a royal, no longer Her Royal Highness, but she was still the people's princess. And she was finally learning to live life on her own terms. At this time, Diana was often seen with Dodi Fayed, the charming son of billionaire Mohammed Al Fayed. The two met earlier that summer and were soon spotted vacationing together, on yachts, beaches, and in the streets of Paris. The media, of course, went wild. The world couldn't look away. Was this Diana's new love story? Or just another chapter of tragedy in disguise? Behind the glamorous photos and tabloid headlines, Diana was struggling. She wanted a life of peace, away from cameras, away from royal pressure. But the spotlight followed her everywhere. The paparazzi chased her through streets, airports, and even private dinners. Then came that fateful night, August 31st, 1997. Paris. Diana and Dodi were leaving the Ritz Hotel, trying to escape the flashing cameras. Their driver sped through the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, trying to lose the photographers. Moments later, the car crashed. In an instant, everything changed. News spread like fire. Princess Diana has been in an accident. And then heartbreak. Princess Diana has died. The world froze. People wept on the streets. Flowers filled outside Kensington Palace. And suddenly, the woman who had lived her life under the world's gaze was gone, leaving behind a silence that screamed louder than words. But in that silence, her love, her kindness, her humanity lived on. Diana's story wasn't just a royal tale. It was a story of a woman who loved deeply, hurt quietly, and lived courageously. Even today, when we see her smile in those old photos, we don't just see a princess. We see a person who showed the world what it means to love and to be human. Legacy of love. Even after her death, Princess Diana's love story didn't fade away. It became something greater, something eternal. People around the world still talk about her, not as a princess who lived in a palace, but as a woman who dared to love freely in a world that didn't let her. Diana's story reminds us that love is not always perfect. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it's misunderstood. But real love never disappears. It changes the world quietly, through the hearts it touches. Her kindness is remembered every day. The charities she supported, the people she hugged, the children she smiled at, they all became part of her love's legacy. And even though her own love story ended in heartbreak, it taught millions of people the true meaning of being human. She showed that being royal doesn't mean being untouchable. It means having the courage to love, to care, and to show emotion, even when the world is watching. Today, when we see her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, we see her spirit living on, in their kindness, in their work, in their love. Because Diana's greatest secret was never hidden. It was right there in her heart, the secret of love that never dies. Sometimes the most beautiful stories are not the ones that end in happiness, but the ones that teach us what love truly means. So, what do you think? Was Princess Diana's story one of love or destiny? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional English stories that touch the heart and help you learn naturally.